All right. Hey guys, how you doing? It's the first time in a while I actually finally started on time for once. Alright, so guys, I hope you guys are having a great week so far. Hope you all been having a whole time. It's been going by so fast. So what I decided to do today is that I decided to do something a little bit different. I realized I don't draw too many vehicles, so I figured what I would do is actually kind of draw a thing called a carriage. And I figure, like what kind of inspired me to do it. I figured since today, since Valentine's Day, I figure I might as well draw something that's a little somewhat semi-romantic. Maybe a couple actually in one of those different horse and carriages, kind of riding around the town. And I figure what I will do here is that I'll have one here of they're in the back of his carriage. They got a horse, and they're actually just going for a night across the town. And so one of the first things I will do is I'm draw our horse guy here. So I figure let me get the back of its hooves here. Let me get the front wheels here. At least. Let me get the back wheel here because the ones in the back are going to be a bit larger than the front. Oh, hey, Brendan, glad you dropped in. Hey, Shay Artist, glad to see you dropped in too. Hey, it's really good to see y'all. Hey, Valentine, man, piece of Joanna Jansen, bouquet of roses. I'll have to check that out later on once I'm done. It's sorry if I hadn't really posted much on here on BlueSky in a while. Yeah, this week for me been a lot busier than normally is, so I hadn't really time to really post, as much. That was one reason I was kind of looking forward, to the day, because I knew I'd be off today. So actually, I had the chance to really not only get a chance to start a little early for it, we'll really start on time, but also to do this. So for our carriage, let me kind of bring on the side here, kind of bring the area in the middle here. Still need a bit for our horse jockey here. Figure I'll have an indication maybe our horse guy's gonna be right here. And for our couple, they'll probably be in the back here. And so maybe I'll actually just kind of sketch them all out. I got some new stuff on Discord. Oh, you did? Oh, you posted some new stuff. I'll have to make sure I check it out later on once I'm done with the stream. Y'all definitely have to check it out. I saw some of the other stuff you had I think you had shared some of them last week. Yeah, it was pretty. Yeah, I loved it. It was pretty good. Let me get around here. Let me get on the side. Cause all that new. Cause I'm really kind of digging that new Amityville Olympic stuff. Yeah, I've really been digging that. I think maybe they're kind of leaning in. Maybe I figured this is probably like a date night thing they're doing. They decided to do a little fancy by riding this little carriage. And so I think what I will probably do, I'm trying to think. Do I want to focus on the people first or I want to focus on the carriage first? I'm trying to think. I probably should focus on the carriage first. That way, so I'll know it looks. I know the actual carriage looks good before I draw the people in. And yeah, this is kind of really the first time I actually am drawing a carriage. So this will be the first. So yeah, you'll probably see me kind of draw something I hadn't really done before. Because every now and then, I'll try to draw some stuff that's normally outside my comfort zone. So I figured maybe I'll do it this time. Let me kind of get the bottom of it here. And what I was about to say, what was it? Um, Sorry if I still feel a little low key. I still feel low key. I'm still pretty tired. I had a pretty late shift last night. Yeah, up at the Publix where I worked at. We were open. We ended up kind of staying pretty late because we had to try to get a lot of our stuff ready for Valentine's Day. So mainly it was just like kind of restocking the shelves. While I read about the East Wide Side, hope I had to get thrown out for one for Diane Dashing. I like that idea. That's funny. And 'cause I think maybe we had to kind of like restock these shelves, but also we had to kind of get all that chocolate, all those balloons. Because we had a whole bunch of balloons like scattered throughout the whole store, and we had a lot of those buy them. So basically, take all the ones that were left and actually kind of just bring them up to the front, so that way, folks buy the rest. They'll actually be there. Let me kind of get on the edge here. Let's see. Let me get the bottom. Let me get these. I bring this wheel on the bottom out here a little more. Yeah. Something else I was going to mention. I forgot what it was. And one of the things I ended up doing while I was at work, did end up getting some couple of flowers. I gotten a few from my mother just to want, because I know she was actually planning on doing a couple of stuff for the weekend. She's gonna be heading out with her relatives. I think with casino just right. It sounds like guys get a chance to enjoy themselves. But also to make her feel appreciated, I went and got her a few flowers and actually went and got some for her. She had a chance to see him just seem to say like, I'm gonna show her once she gets back. Yeah, but I have a feeling she'll like them. I was asking a four-part where all four of my sisters go through the same hurricane. Started with Desert Delight, followed with Alkyl Canes, then she ended with, oh, neat, it's gonna be a four-parter. Cool. Yeah, you let me know if you decide to actually how to do that idea. I definitely love to read that one. So I'm definitely looking for it. And by the way, I'm sorry for missing last week's last week's stream on Sunday. Yeah, I had a few affairs I had to take care of like earlier in that afternoon that just came up, so I was unfortunately I ended up missing it. So I apologize that I wasn't there. Let me see if I can get that seating area. Let me see how am I gonna get the seating area. Let me see if I can get that to look right. Let me see. Yeah, drives it wasn't in control. Yeah, thanks. I appreciate it. Yeah. Tomorrow should be a little bit better because I think even though I do a few as I take care, they shouldn't be until later on in the evening. So worst case scenario, if I'm not able to catch most of it, I should be able to catch you before because I think I do have to go in for work tomorrow. I'll have to check my skeleton just to be sure. But worst case scenario, I am gonna try to make sure at least I capture a part of it. I'll capture a good chunk of it before I'm gonna have to go in. Cat's gone wild in our milk parlor. Chi and Jimmy, three animals on bars, so they Daffy and Cassie Hippo. Defensive kid us to get into fun and excitement back in them. Oh, nice, a little girl. I'll say so. It's kind of a girls' night out type of scenario. That's cool. It's been a while since I kind of seen. It's a while since I kind of seen one of those type of episodes. Yeah. Now, granted, I haven't really watched too much new stuff. I don't think I've seen a lot of new shows actually kind of like visit like that concept where it's kind of a girls' night out. I mean, aside from maybe SpongeBob, maybe from a few years ago. Let me get this horse. What's going on with this carriage? Let me kind of get in the middle. I spread the back area looks all right. Taking that plot. Yeah. Yeah, it's funny. It's not. It's have a plot line that almost seems it's honestly been around for a while, but it's always nice to hear different, not to see people to do like different takes on them. That's like for me whenever I hear about like certain like certain TV shows, if they're not all if they're not always original, if they have like similar like plot lines, usually not that concerned because I'm more concerned how they normally like handle plots and how they do them versus doing them at all because like sure sure if you're doing a plot or idea that's been done before, it hasn't been done by you, has been done by this person, and they might take a different spin on it, and that's what makes it really neat. Okay, something's going up here with this carriage. I'm trying to figure out how can I make this like because I'm trying to make it so that try to get those seating area for the guy managing the carriage. Try to make it get the seat right here, but it's just not looking right for some reason. What is going on? Let me bring this up. I plan to draw a new photo at the time. Yeah, in fact, my friend Vance getting around spending a clean versus dirty plot from a bad bikini bottom. Except Bank wouldn't nearly go as Patrick did in that episode. Oh, man, it's been a while since I've seen that one. I plan to draw again for our new photo reference next week. Yeah, I look forward to seeing what the new stuff, seeing the new drawings. Yeah, I'm gonna try to yeah, even though I haven't really been on BlueSky as much lately, I do try to drop in every now and then just to kind of like really make sure I see some of the new stuff y'all been making. Yeah, but the Battle Key Bar, I think that came out. I think was that like season 6, season 7, 6, season 7? Was that a little more recent? Forgot which period that one came out. Because I think I remember that Battle came out. That was one of the later. I think that was one of the later episodes if I recall, wasn't it? Let me see. I know I'm kind of a detail. Oh yeah, see, okay, season 5. Okay, so it's kind of like the kind of the middle seasons. Okay. Okay, yeah, I think I remember that one now. It's been a while since I've seen. Okay, it's been a while since I've seen that one. And in fact, I'm trying to think, I keep forgetting, like, how many seasons of SpongeBob are out there now? Like 20? Because honestly, since it's been a while since I watched them, since I sat down and watched Nickelodeon, I realized I had a chance to really keep up with it as I had been as of lately. Oh, okay. 300 episode. It's currently its 16th season, which premiered on June 12th. Oh, wow. 16 seasons. Good God. I knew it had a lot. I didn't realize it had that many, though. I'm honestly just morbidly curious, like how many more will be made? Like, will they cap out like at 20, or if they'll end up going up to maybe at least 30 or 39, like The Simpsons, or maybe go even farther than that. I think right now, like both Simpsons and SpongeBob, they're kind of really like the two like longest ongoing like animated TV shows as of right now. Yeah, and I think because I think they came out that new movie that came out too. I heard the newest one that came out not too long ago was okay. I try to think, what was the name of that one? Let me see. Because I know it was the first. The movies, animated release, we announced on Twitter. I think it's first share Sammy Konsei Cheeks movie. Then apparently there's the spin-off movie Plankton the movie that came out. I forgot about that one. Yeah, finally advertised. Getting the attention of eavesdropping Scoops. Oh, cool! You're gonna do another one from Scoops, newspaper guy. The one I saw for that stream a few weeks back. We tried to find a really good story for a newspaper. Finally, a title for this plot. I actually like that title. That's actually a really good one. I like that. I forget. Like sometimes that's always tricky to do to try to find like a good story from a good title because I know usually like what I'll do if I'm trying a good title. Like sometimes I'll give a working title bait that's probably either just like a summary of the plot, or I always have like different like names. I'll actually just next I'll just kind of look over the side, like which ones I actually want to use or not, and then I'll just decide from there like which ones I want to do. Okay, what is going on? I'm trying to get this thing with the carriage right, but for some reason I cannot. I cannot get it to look right down here. I have no idea why it can't get it to look right. For some reason it's not. Hmm. Yeah, let me see. Well, since I got the overall outline of carriage, let me see if I can try to kind of start blocking it in. Let me get the back of the wheels. Get the back part of the part under on top of the wheels. other side of the wheels here too. Valentine apply, Alley Cat Gang, Whiskers, we hardly knew yet. After ingesting a poison, blow does realize they have 24 hours to live. Oh yeah, that's another classic plot. I do like that one. I think two that immediately come to mind were that one. I think that plot line. I think there was the one with there's one with the Simpsons with Homer. I think it was the second season one where he ends up eating like a poisonous fish, and has 24 hours to live. And I also think of that one with Dexter's Laboratory where Dexter, he ends up eating this large burrito, and he thought that he got poisoned. He thought he had 24 hours to live, but at the end of the day, he just had gas. And it's funny. It was basically. It was funny just looking back at that episode. It's probably the only episode I know where it took that 24-hour like to live gag. It pretty much just ended up being except for just one fart joke. Which is funny because they really didn't do it that often. And it actually was kind of funny. I took a picture of my small ballerina figure with my phone. I think she's so cute. Figurine. Oh, it's a figurine. I didn't realize you had a figurine. That's cool. Yeah, and see, that's what I'm saying. Cause like you could have, like I mentioned, you had like two different shows that kind of did that same concept, but they decided to kind of handle it like very differently. Like speaking of Simpsons, I need to get around to kind of get back to you guys were rewatching it on Disney Plus. Cause what I've been doing for a brief while is basically I've been kind of like rewatching and also watching some classic Simpsons on Disney Plus for a while. I think right now I'm in the middle of like season 4 right about now. But I've been kind of like pace myself. One, because since I'm usually pretty busy, usually I don't have time to really kind of like sit down and really watch a lot of episodes in one sitting. But also the thing about it is, if a lot comes to Simpsons, like a lot of the classic era Simpsons I never really seen before. I think I've mentioned some on my other streams too. A lot of the Simpsons I've kind of really seen for the first time. And I'm really tend to pace myself as far as actually like really watching them and see how I enjoy them. And so far I have been enjoying them so far. The other thing is since classic it's already been like hyped up, as being as being great, as in really great what's the word I'm looking for? Just really great examples of animation history. I kind of want to go in, watching them with no expectations, or expectations or biases. That way I don't feel disappointed. Because sometimes you go out and watch something, because everyone kind of hypes it up and you get disappointed. Luckily, that hasn't happened here so far. Someone started tonight, Songbirds voice on the day so to do the Golden Griffins 10th anniversary. Oh man, Sour Song. Johnny Songbird, I think you didn't you show me some new artwork with that character not too long ago? Cause that name sounds familiar. I think he's one of your more recent ones, isn't he? Or you've had him for a while. Yeah, okay. I thought so. I just wanted to be sure. Whenever he gets his voice sabotaged, though, it's somehow lit. So they end up giving they end up giving a scratchy throat. They end up catching laryngitis. He has some gargling nails instead of water. There's so many. I was thinking about that. I was thinking there were different ways of getting that playing out, good or bad, for Johnny in that plot line. Oh, that's a bad one right there. Lemon spray. Oh yeah, that's a bad one right there. Let me get our little horse guy here. Oh yeah, lemon spray. Yeah, I'll do lemon spray. Yeah, I'll do it for you. Let me see. Let me get in the middle here. I know it's kind of a little stocky. I think this horse may end up being a little stockier than they normally are. But I think I can make this work. Maybe I get the harnesses around our little horse guy here. There we go. Just have a little bit of that hair on those little mane here. I'm trying to mention. Yeah, I think it's starting to turn out all right. There was something else I was going to mention. I forgot what it was. Yeah, but I think after the stream today, you know, I'll probably take care of errands around the house, probably clean some things up. I tried drawing recently, doing my art field trips. Oh, you did an art field trip. Where'd you end up going? Cause I tell you, I haven't done one of those in a while. Cause I think one of the last ones, at least one of the last ones I recall doing for myself, I think was going to the High Museum of Art here in town where I am. And a lot of times I would go like during the Field Museum. Isn't that in Chicago? Yeah, Field Museum, not far from Lake Michigan. Okay, cool. But you know what? I've heard their museum's really nice. Yeah, in fact, oh wow, I just looked up a few images. Oh, it's really nice. I didn't realize y'all had a full-on dinosaur exhibit there. Oh wow. I'm sorry I keep making these detours between drawing and looking stuff up. I didn't realize it was this big. Yeah, one of these days, if I ever get back around to traveling, if I haven't passed through Chicago, I'll have to check that place out. Yo, that is really neat. That is really neat. Yeah, but that's cool. You had a chance to. Cool, you got a chance to do that during a field trip. What'd you end up drawing? Because I know every now and then, like, I will try to draw, like, doing realistic stuff, do stuff like, well, the only thing about it is, you know, like, doing realistic stuff, it's all, you know, not surprisingly, it's actually so much harder to do. Especially, I think, especially when it comes to like, doing portraits. I'd say, you know, doing portraits, those are so hard. Those are so hard to do because, you know, like, portraits, you have to be really exact when you're actually drawing somebody because you'll find out when drawing portraits, you know, like, everyone, you know, people have it's all about getting proportions right, but also getting like the good details right too. Because that's the weird thing, like, you know, if something's off, whether it be how their eyes slanted or how their nose is shaped. You know, if something's just not completely off, you know, it can actually like really kill, you know, that likeness. And now he sketched a rhino head. Oh, cool. And it's rhino head, another being is a green gazelle. So for this museum, so they have like little So now they have dinosaurs. They have like different little animal. They have like little animal statues too. So I always talk about museums. It makes me want to actually want to plan. Makes me want to plan another little art trip of my own one of these days. Cause yeah, and they got a big fair bit of taxidermy there. Okay. I was wondering, if it was like, like taxidermy animals or if it was more like statues. Okay, cool. Even if I'm as man, me, and lions. Yo, this sounds rad though. Yeah, Brendan, you're really selling me on this place. I'm not gonna lie, you're really selling me. The Irish carriage guy up front here, and I have our couple in the back. And I figured out maybe this couple are maybe they're kind of like maybe riding the back of the carriage for like an evening night out. Cause what was I gonna mention? Cause here in town, here in Atlanta, we have the High Museum of Art, and a lot of times I would go on at least for I haven't really done it as of lately. I used to do it a couple years back. I would go to the High Museum of Art, and I think every second and fourth Sunday they would have live music. So based on the main floor, they would have like a music. There was music that's kind of playing the main atrium where they'll kind of play. Usually they'll play either jazz music. Sometimes they play classical music, and it's free. Well, first off, you do have to pay in order to get in. But if you want to see the show, like you'll be able to see it, like since you're already inside. I remember they'd have usually a pretty good turnout because you could be there. Like sometimes they would kind of, they would serve snacks as well. You could actually sit down and actually enjoy the show. But also, what was cool is that another thing they would do is that what was it? Oh yeah, they would have a live model. So basically on the fourth floor, and I think it's in the east wing of the museum, they would have like a little setup where they would have a models on a platform, a live model, and she would hold like a different pose for about 15 minutes. And what they had like around her is they had like different like easel and chair steps, so people that were passing by, they could sit down, pick up one of these easels, and they could practice drawing her. In which I thought was really neat because like having that yeah, it's kind of like an interactive activity for people that are at museum. Instead of just coming here just to really just look at art, they could get a chance to actually participate too. Yeah, it's pretty cool, activity to have in there. Now, I don't know if they still do now. I hope they do. I think it's a really cool activity to do. Let me kind of bring her head up just a bit. We probably got other guy here too. I figure maybe they're probably in mid conversation. I figure maybe he's the guy that actually decided to do the carriage ride idea. Yeah, I used to see him got to type on a typewriter. Oh, really? Oh, type. I ain't seen a typewriter in years. My grandfather, he used to have an old typewriter. I think the kind he had, it was more from. I can't remember if it was a typewriter or it was a calculator. No, I didn't know it was typewriter because I know he used. If I recall, he normally used that a lot for a lot, a lot either for accounting or for his tax, or for some taxi information. So it showed up in one of the tax services, showing off at tax services. I wanted to take a chance. That's cool though. Yeah, as far as actually like big museums go, the only ones I think I've really visited I visited them at the Smithsonian like in Washington D.C. twice. And of course, both times I was there, I got lost. I visited one museum up in New York. I forgot which one. Another museum that I got to visit couple years back. I think it was one of my personal favorites. The Uffizi Museum that was in Florence, Italy. That one was cool because I got a chance to see a lot of the see a lot of really old like Renaissance paintings. And what's funny, I didn't realize until when I saw them in person how huge those things are. Like they're like several feet, like several feet, like large, long, and wide. I saw that, especially I saw the famous Michelangelo's The David statue. And funny thing about it is like, what's weird, like when you see like certain like famous like artworks and art pieces, in art books and on TV. It's a whole other thing like when you get a chance to see in person. Like I know when I walked up to the Michelangelo, I was surprised to see how large it was, but also to really to look at all the finer details that I normally missed in pictures. Like since he's based on David from David and Goliath, one that I didn't really know until I finally just to walk up close to and behind it. He even has the slingshot he uses against a Goliath like draped across his back, and I never noticed before because I'm so used to seeing the ones where he's from the front, but I never saw him from the back. I knew the science and industry. I think they've exhibited like the Pixar. I think I heard about that place. I had heard they have a Pixar exhibit. I'll have to add that to my waiting list of places to go. Museum of Music and Science and Industry. Chicago. Oh, cool. Music industry first private non-profit museum. Oh, neat. The $1,000 of Jackson Park. Oh, so this one's been around for a while. I was looking up, so this one's been around for a while too. Wow. Just posted my batch of sketches from that trip. Oh, let me check him out real quick. Hang on. Oh, nice. Wow. Oh, hey, Brent, these are really good. I really like that gazelle one. I mean, I like how he got its ears. You got the ears. I got that little snout, and it's a forward facing shot too. Like forward facing shots, those are always tricky to do because they tend to look really flat. Because I feel like if not done right, they can look flat. But you did a great job. I see you got these different plants too, these leaves. Yeah, I appreciate you posting, man. Thanks. Because I've been funny. I was just getting ready to ask like later on if you don't mind sharing some with me because I'd like to see them. Oh, it was part of an assignment. Hey, so that's a great assignment though. Let me see. So let me kind of get some of our expressions here. I'm gonna get other guy here too. Let's see, paranormal activity. So much into sleep, a scary noise keeps Sullivan awake. Oh, yeah, that's it. Yeah, I take that one's kind of like that one's kind of a play on paranormal activity movies. That's fine. I hadn't thought about those movies no more. I remember like how big those were for like one hot minute. I think there was four of them I recall. I think there was four of the paranormal activity. I think one of them was like a spin-off. I've heard I haven't seen all of them because I think I heard the first one's the best because that's the first one that's actually kind of pretty scary, and the other ones that came out afterwards, they got less scary. Cause I think, which I believe, because I think the one that I think I did end up seeing like in full was it was either 3 or 4. Cause I remember I think when I think it might have been 4. Cause I remember I think when I sat down and watched it, I was like, this really isn't all that much scary. In fact, those comments was actually kind of funny too. Cause I think there was one part it was close to the end. I think where family, they're inside the house. They're trying to they've already kind of figured out something weird's going inside the house. Yeah, but they're deciding if they want to stay or not. Then I think literally after they finish talking, all of a sudden a whole bunch of stuff starts falling from the kitchen. And the mother who's in the kitchen when it happened was like, "Kids, we're going to the grandma's." I know it sounds scary when I'm describing it. I'm telling you, like the way it played out in the movie was actually more funny than it was scary. Yeah, I might bring my regular pencil for this one. Give me just one moment. Where's my sorry, I didn't hit the camera. Where's my pencil sharpener? Here we go. Yeah. Oh yeah. Also kind of a brief side note. I'm getting some new art supplies, so I found like these type of like oil pastels online. They're supposed to be pretty big, so it is a brand called I Like, and so apparently it's these large like little pastel like oil pastels. They're a little smaller than I thought, but they are bigger than regular like pastel items. In fact, this is how they look. You can see how like real big and thick, how thick they are. I figured I'd give them a shot and actually try these out, because I don't really work with oil pastels that often, but when I do, I like how I work them because I could almost I can kind of do some drawings that are more painterly like. And in fact, one of the things I ended up doing is I actually got one of these little oil pastel blenders, because I didn't realize until recently that actually are blenders out there now where you can actually use them to blend pastels without having to use like your fingers or use paper towel. Because that's the only thing about reason why I don't do oil pastel that often, because they can get very messy. Not as messy as soft pastels. For some reason, I can never get into using soft pastels because soft pastels, they're so chalky. They make a mess. And unlike oil pastels, like soft pastels, you gotta really spray down with like either hairspray or fix it that way. It won't smear each time you use it. I've heard like soft pastel is much better used like for layering, because I've seen when it comes to doing like pastel artwork, I've seen a lot more folks use that for more like professional artwork. But I'm seeing oil pastel get a lot more love of it lately because I know I follow I follow quite a couple of artists that utilize that use like oil pastel. I think one guy follows I think called Blackbean SMS. I think that's his name. He does a lot of like artwork in oil pastel. His stuff has always been really good. So I do love like watching his stuff. Yeah, he's kind of one of the few art YouTubers I watch fairly regularly. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't notice that when Fast Times at Wilmot High, friend ends up going back to high school after finding the ever past. Oh, that's cool. So that's kind of like what's that that Roddy Dangerfield movie? Think Back to School. I think that's the one. You know, as much as I've seen a lot of cartoons and shows actually do that plot line, I don't think I've ever seen the that original movie because I think that was one of the first. That was one of the first, not the first, to really do it. You know, Roddy Dangerfield, Back to School, came out in the 80s. I heard the soundtrack for that one was really good because that one even features Oingo Boingo in that one. Let me see. I need for oil pastel. Those aren't the only ones that I have because aside from these new ones right here, I also got these that I found like from a Michaels. These are actually pretty. I tried these out a few times. They're actually not bad. They got different brands that are out. They're out there. I really should get on to use a lot more because I end up kind of buying a few that I haven't really used as often as I should. Because you had some that are very hot. They're kind of on the hard side, where they're more like crayons. But then you got some that are actually pretty soft. Like I know probably some that I got pretty soft from. It's a professional brand. In fact, I should have it underneath my desk. Let me see if I have them on me. Yeah, here we go. Have a batch of my past out. Oh, you showed some. Oh, cool. Whoa. Wow, even the color wheel. Well, I love that still life with the apple and the apple in that picture. I love that monochromatic, that steel life. Yo, those are fantastic. I love those. Wow. Yo, those are beautiful. Beautiful. Like for example, like here's some over an expensive brand. Like go past like Saneeler. These things are expensive, but they are really good. Like. Oh yeah, I could tell. You know, the shading in that one is amazing. You know, like see, now granted these are a little bit smaller, but you know, like these are often like really soft. I would mean to try to do a whole pictures of these, but they're pretty good. Yeah, I remember back when I was in college, we ended up doing like a few we had to kind of do a couple of little still lifes. I think sometimes we did some in pencil, sometimes we did some in we painted some. Yeah, I think for a while I did do some oil pastel too. But yeah, those are great, especially that monochromatic thing too, where you're kind of working with different shades, like one color. You know, some black added into. The picture I sent just now, the brand pastels I use. Cray pads, oh yeah. Yeah, those are good. Yeah, I have that brand. Those are some good pastels. Yeah, because I got quite a few similars. I have Cray pads, and they're probably sitting in my closet somewhere. I have no idea where, but they're in there. Yeah, but that's cool. Yeah, but that's really cool. Yeah, but I hear, you know, I think when I get the chance, I'm definitely gonna try, you know, these blenders out, see how they work, because if they work, you know, that'll be kind of probably a good game choice as far as going back use a oil pastel, because cause I tell you, one thing I don't miss with oil pastel is if your hands get all dirty, because I would either use my finger, then I would use like paper towels and use that to kind of blend them. Cause I hear that if you use your fingers, apparently what happens is like oil on your fingers, it can kind of get into your hands, and you can kind of get into the like paint in your picture itself. It'll kind of cause a little bit of discoloration. At least from what I've heard, like that's what will happen. So hopefully that little blending tool it actually like works. So let me kind of start actually drawing out our couple here. I tend to use a rag. Yeah, I've used a rag. I didn't think about using a little rag. I probably should try that. That's what I use on occasion on charcoal after all. Oh, charcoal. Oh my god. Tell you, that is a brand I haven't used in years. Yeah, I remember when I first started getting in drawing, and I realized it's something I really like to do. I used to always use charcoal. And I just forgot, charcoal's. What's weird now looking back at it now is how I didn't like soft pastels because they were so messy, but yet there was a brief for a long time. I used to always love using charcoal. Now, granted, part of that was because like when I first got a job, when I did one of my first like art class, they used charcoal and they got us into using it. And so I had a charcoal like pencil. I had the charcoal like sticks. I remember those were always fun to use if I was doing more live drawings. I think let me get her hair. There was one of our lady right here. We'll have our dude here. And even as I'm kind of drawing with pencil, I'm gonna be kind of try to keep everything pretty light here, since I am planning on going over, pen. And maybe they're probably dressed maybe somewhat semi-casual. Well, they're not completely casual, but it's still at least kind of like dressed for the occasion. We gotta get the back of the seating area where they're in. Like I said, got character creation crash course. I don't know if that's what I use for occasion on charcoal after all. Yeah, I don't know why I didn't think about using a rag. I was so used to using paper towels that whole time when I was using charcoal and pastel. I got a character, got a bunch of them. I trust D as I speak. I got character animation class for helpful for animators. I went to animation class in real life. I think I've heard of character animation crash course book. I've heard that one's pretty good. I forgot who wrote that, who made that one. Oh, your charcoal stuff. Oh yeah, your charcoal stuff was looking pretty good. I love how dark your shadows are. Yeah, the little shading those shading tasks. Loving the rush sketch so far. Hey, thank you. I'm glad you're liking it so far. I meant to have more of the sketch kind of worked out before I'm started, because I'm aware, right now it's been almost an hour now, and I haven't really done too much like line work just yet. Because anytime if I try to do a little drawing, I try to make sure I get some of the sketch works done before see how it's done like before I start streaming. So that way, when I do start, like I can get right to doing the fun stuff. I try doing like the ink work, and of course doing the coloring too. Yeah, I think most of my like charcoal stuff that I did, I might still have a good chunk of it left in my garage, because charcoal stuff is like really old stuff I did like years ago. Because if I still have some, like a lot of what stuff I still have is probably from when I did one, I think back when I was in high school. Because I attended like this little art class I was right side of school where we did like these figure study drawings. So we had a chance to work with like a live model. So I still have a lot of like charcoal drawings from those. I don't have any on my hard drive right now. In fact, that's one thing I need to do is actually start taking pictures of all my old drawings and uploading to my desktop computer. Because one of the things I've done, with a lot of my really really old drawings, so like say ones that are like 10 years or older going back. A lot of them that I've already taken pictures of, I pretty much end up either kind of like tossing them, or I've gotten lost. Because one thing about like having all these different like sketchbooks and notebooks to draw, and like over time, like they will take up a lot of space. So a lot of times what I'm gonna have to do is actually kind of do a little purge where I just kind of get rid of like older sketchbooks, especially if these sketchbooks don't really have any stuff that I could really put in a portfolio, or stuff I can't really show off because it doesn't really reflect the work I'm currently doing now. So sometimes what I will do, after I call it figure drawing. Yep, that's the one, figure drawing. I have a Paus's new design. I don't know if I've seen Pawson yet. You'll have to see what Pawson looks like later on once I'm done. Okay, let me turn back to this character to see what's going on here. Oh, there we go. Yeah, I'm sorry the sketch taking a little longer than expected though, but I was not expecting the sketch to take would take this long, to be honest. In fact, I think back when I did figure drawing class, I got a chance to work with a local artist here. His name was Gilbert Young, and he did a lot of a sketch, but he did a lot of paintings too. And with him, he was actually a really great teacher. Now, funny thing about it, he could be very grumpy. He could be a very difficult person to really kind of deal with at times, because he really wouldn't mince his words whenever he came, really like pointing out something that needs improvement, wanting that needs improvement, like finding stuff that seems a little off. Because one thing he was always really big on is really being it, really like kind of disciplining you, kind of making sure you kind of like step back from your artwork and looking at it and see what needs to be improved, what needs to be improved, like what things you can actually do better, but also not getting too attached to the your art to the point where you don't want to correct anything. Because one thing I think that tends to happen sometimes when it comes to doing art, especially if we love doing art, is like we'll get too attached to what we draw. We don't like it when we hear criticism. We don't like it to he we don't like to really look at ourselves through a critical eye and not point for things that makes them better. And I feel being in his class, doing that class, it really kind of helped really give me that push. So that way, no matter what I do, whether it's doing more realistic or actually doing cartoons stuff like this, I'm always kind of looking at stuff where I'm looking at things with critical eye. And even if I finish up something and it's not perfect, it's not the way I want it, I would say like, oh well, I'll just take what I learned from this one and apply it to the next one. Because that's one thing you have to work. You do learn to accept is that like not every drawing you make, no matter like what stage in the what stage of an artist that you are, not every drawing you make is gonna be like brilliant. Like you'll have some that aren't gonna be as great in your eyes. Buddy sitting blues, Frank breaks his leg and Chuck agrees to take care of them while he's bedridden. But Frank gets progressively angry and snappy with Chuck, and the beaver has to put an end to it. That sounds like a very good one. I like Chuck already too. So that alone's already kind of selling me on it. I think I'll have him up in the front here. Okay, let me kind of get this our little horsey guy here. And also, this is kind of the first time in a long time I've actually drawn a horse. So this is kind of like a big change of pace. Kind of a change of pace too. That's the thing. That's the thing. I'm trying to get back to trying to draw a little more animals too, because I don't think I draw like. Because sometimes I don't think I draw like animals enough, especially anthropomorphic ones. That's why it's always kind of cool to see some of you guys' artwork, because these guys are always so good when it comes to, like drawing like anthropomorphized animals. Yeah, y'all pretty much kind of got them down pat. Yeah, I think now at this stage we can probably start going in with the pens. So let me get my pens out. Give me just one moment. Yeah, Bloody Blues art teacher were very understanding, and that's the thing. With different art teachers, I've had some that could be very difficult. I've had some that could be very nice. I've had some that are in the middle, and some. Yeah, for Shark Soul, Shark Tooth is getting attacked by Stars Blood for a soon-to-be casino, but it turns out that bridge probably an Annabelle history. History. I already know. Yeah, I already know that's gonna be good right there, especially with Chartreuse. I feel with Chartreuse, he's gonna really can really fight the urge that really kind of fight the urge to actually gotta blow things up. Cause causing destruction, causing mayhem. But I know that's kind of like their thing. So that's so that's gonna be a, so that's gonna be a pretty good one right there. I also kind of like that title too, for whom the shark tolls. Almost reminds like whom the bell tolls, like that song by Metallica, for whom the bell tolls. Like speaking of sorry, I'm going all over the place. Where's my pen? Where's my pen? Oh, here we go. Here it is. The drawing's looking pretty. Thanks, Shay. Thanks, Shay. I'm glad you like it. It's so fun to try. Yeah, I can definitely see. I can definitely see. But what's wrong with me? I'm going all over the place. I was saying that title for your story, it reminds me of it has to be a British story. There's a people by the name of history. Let's see. Where do I want to start? Do I want to start here? Do I want to start here? And it's a good thing I'm off today. I can actually stream a little longer than I normally would. I tell you, it's so cool to hear all these different the original that story it was based on anyway. Oh, okay, okay. This is what you do to mention all these different like little these stories that you got. Especially that you hear like hearing from ones at least I hadn't really heard from ones I haven't really seen in a while. Yeah, like I said, I have a lot of these in the notes phase. Hey, but that's good though. Like it helps. It helps to kind of keep up all those notes because you never know like when you're gonna decide to do something with it. It may end up becoming a story. It may, yeah, it may not, or something will get combined. Maybe kind of bring her chest down a bit more. Uh oh, hang on for just one moment, guys. False alarm guy. It was one of those scam callers. Frank killed his plot line too. Frank unleashed. Frank starts more fair than usual. Almost like a werewolf situation. I realize I have to kind of keep him in check. Oh, so it's kind of a werewolf where it just kind of happens at midnight, where it just kind of comes and goes. Yeah, that's another good. Yeah, that's another good one right there. Let me get her hands here. Let me get this dude's eyes here too. And I figured maybe for this couple, maybe this dude here, maybe he's the guy that actually kind of put this whole thing together where, he decides to take our carriage ride because it's something that she's always wanted to do for a very long time. And so, of course, now there's actually her first time a chance to really do it. Let me see, there's ears. Yeah, I'm watching Sleeping Beauty, seeing ballet tonight. Oh, I forgot that was a. I completely forgot that was a thing for Sleeping Beauty ballet. I'm gonna have to check that out one of these days. Much worried about nothing. Will becomes love stricken with Marvin, getting less separated, but it starts to catch on to Strap. Oh, kind of like a Medusa or Sedusa type situation. Another classic. Another classic. Let me see. What? Let me see. Let me kind of bring this out a bit more, kind of round things out. One thing I've kind of started doing now in some of my sketches, kind of like going over the line. So, want to add a little bit of texture, but also kind of round things out so keep them from looking too flat. Marquee TV streams, ballets, and operas. Oh, neat. I haven't realized that wasn't even a thing, to be honest. I'm gonna start checking out some of these other streaming services out there. At least some of these free ones, because usually like the main ones, like starting off from the ones that I pay for, because I got I have Hulu and Disney Plus through like a package deal. I have that. And then I have access to a couple of other ones through some of my parents, because of course, we share Amazon Prime. Of course, we share Netflix, Gazelle Marquee. I heard that's good. We have I know even I don't have it. I think my sister, she has Peacock. So every time if we have family gatherings, we'll watch stuff on hers with that one. And then for free ones, I have I also have Pluto TV and Tubi. Oh, and speaking of Tubi, I just heard not too long ago they've acquired a lot of like old school, like a lot more like old school like Cartoon Network shows and WB contests, even Looney Tunes. They've acquired a lot more of their stuff, so it's on Tubi now. So like that. So I'm telling you, like that particular like streaming stuff, it's free, but it's become, I think, slowly become my favorite like streaming station because they've gotten so much stuff. They already had pretty good bit of stuff, neat stuff already, but the fact that they've now had that they got so much good stuff now to view. I think I'll give this dude some facial hair. Let me get our old carriage going here. That's it. I'm not sure I'm ready for it. She is cute. Yeah, I think I do vaguely remember that show. I think I remember seeing. Dude, that show's been years I've seen that one. But that's been around for a long time too. In fact, speaking of a strawberry shortcake, I don't know if I had mentioned this on I think one of my last streams. When I went to the Chattanooga Comic Con, the original lady who actually created Strawberry Court, I forgot her name. Let me see, bring her up. Let me think I bring her up real quick. The original lady who created Strawberry Court, she was actually there. Let me see. Muriel Farian, that's it. Muriel Farian. Yeah, she was the original designer of the Strawberry Shortcake franchise. She was actually there when I went to the when I actually went to convention. I didn't get in line to go really see her, but I remember when I passed by her booth, she had a long line of people that were there. The horse plays the thing. Facing on a horse, participating in the horse race, but he sees the horse is very lazy and blobbish. The race tries to get on his legs to trim it down to a priv. Oh yeah, like horse race plus. Those are always fun. I think the best one I can think of using that plot. The one I can think off the top of my head is probably from Goof Troop, where P ends up buying a horse and ends up being pretty lame. Basically, he and Goofy ends up having to actually have to get it in shape. It's nice. So French like on his legs. Nice. I also have a key to Margaret. Oh, cool. What is it? Cause I definitely like to see it. Okay, let me bring the bottom spoke out too. I'm gonna leave early now. Goodbye, Reggie. Hey, thanks, Shay. I'm glad you're able to drop in. I appreciate you coming in for today. I know. I know his stream is probably gonna go on a little longer. I think I'll probably stream. If I'm not able to finish this up today, I might finish it up tomorrow, or I'll probably have to just tomorrow. I'll probably do it on another day. I sent it earlier. Just scroll above and you'll find it. Let me see. Yeah, I'm gonna tell you the new outfit that you posted has been looking great. I've been liking those shadow. I'm liking the shadows you've been using for all your stuff as of lately. Yeah, it really makes everybody pop a bit. Let me see. I don't know if I'm just missing it. Am I just missing it? Give me just one moment. Hang on. But just in case, girls are femme fatale, but she used her hood and sweet talks to distract others and steal from them. Okay. I think I see it. Hang on. surprised I'm not. I don't know. I'm not seeing the discourse though. I can always check for it later. Yeah, but I do like, that audio. I do like that concept though. I can I definitely was I really kind of pulling one over on Shark Tooth though. Cause what else I was gonna say? What was it? What was it? I sent it in the live chat. Okay. Chat. Okay, okay, I see it now. Okay, my mistake. For some reason, I kept thinking it was on the Discord. My mistake. Do less out of a shot. Two cats is a trap. Okay, I see it now. Yeah, that sounds like another. Yeah, that sounds like another good one right there. Let me see. Trying to go back here. Trying to go back there. I'm just looking stuff up because I'm kind of going back and forth. I'm doing this. I'm also gonna look up a couple of different like photo references as well. I haven't applied that, but one I came up with was Reggie the Moocher. Oh, a play on Minnie the Moocher, the old Cab Calloway song. Yeah, because I think even that song that's been in, I think that song that's been used in been referenced so many different cartoons, so many different movies. Plus, it helped. I think the very first major use in cartoons. I think it was Cab Calloway and his band himself appeared in one of the old Fleischer cartoon back in like the 30s, and that was kind of like a big deal because you normally didn't really have bands, especially African American like black bands that really kind of actually appear as themselves. The real folks appear themselves in the old cartoons like that often. And while of course, I haven't seen him, I've actually known some folks who got a chance to see them years ago, back when he was still alive, the end of life. And apparently, like even back when he was older, he still always put on a good show. I think the closest I've ever come to like really seeing him. Oh yeah, American Dad, Jeffrey. Oh yeah, I think I do remember seeing that one. Yeah, the closest I recall like ever really seeing Cab Calloway was probably just like old live footage, especially in in Blues Brothers, where I keep hitting the camera. I'm so sorry about that. Where he actually does one of the like late shows there. Yeah, I gotta give maybe this guy a little hat. Let me get the reins. I think the reins, so we just gotta bring them in here. know his horse is a little stocky, but I think he's gonna look all right. My umbrella divine radar fires $5 split when they fire the only umbrella they have. Oh, maybe I just hopefully they're trying to find a place to get indoors, because if they're an umbrella, they're not gonna get them. They're not gonna get much relief from the rain. That's one about the umbrellas, though. You know, like once it starts pouring down enough, you know, like, you know, maybe it'll blow inside out. Lightning will strike it. It'll bust. But from a plot point, you know, that's even better. That plot point, that's even better though, because there's so many ways you can actually go ahead and take it. Let me get his ears. See. Okay, I think now I am gonna do looks like I start going with some of these larger for larger pen. Yeah, I think I should go with the idea of it being blown inside out, shot by a lightning bolt. Yeah, maybe it could probably happen towards the end where like the physical gags start kind of ramping up. Like maybe it keeps blowing away, then it blows inside out. Then there's holes, and they try patching up the holes. Then finally, after everything, once they finally got it stable, then this lightning just takes it out. I know it's kind of brainstorming, but that's an idea. Thing I'm gonna do is kind of go around with some thick brush pen for the outlines. Hey, thanks. Yeah, I'm totally adding that. Hey, cool. Hey, go for it. Hey, go for it. Let me see. Let's go around the bottom. Get the color and harsh here. The color and harsh there. Yeah, I probably just use like a little smaller pen to kind of round us on the other details. I was thinking that is for an April Fool's story. Shark and friends give a fake bee sting. He walks away laughing. That first by very swollen Frank. Oh yeah, I mean they're pretty. They're pretty love group, so I already know like any pranks that start going out of line, they're not gonna take them standing down. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised. You never know. They may have gone an all-out prank war on each other, where constantly trying to get each other back. So I'll use that. Let me use one of my thicker pens here. Let me see. Yeah, here we go. Oh, oh, okay. Oh, neat. So a different take on the story. So that's all right. Let me see. Let me see. I add the line here. Add the line there. I'm trying to think what else. I'm trying to see what else I want to add here. Yeah, I'm sorry. I tend to talk. I tend to talk a lot anytime I'm trying drawing here because I know. Because sometimes I'm looking at something. I'll see something that just pops out, and I immediately start thinking like, what else could I add to kind of like make it look better. Yeah, our big guy here. Let me just kind of have his arm here. Yeah, I got some notes for Danes on dirt bikes. Oh, neat. So kind of like a so like a motocross, like Fast and Furious type of deal. Let me see. I see. Yeah, it's like oh, Chartreuse sensor. Yeah, I figured it was. I figured once you mentioned dirt bikes, I figured okay, that's definitely gonna be Chartreuse based story right there. They're pretty rough dudes, so having something having something as badass and rough, as a dirt bikes. Yeah, it sounds like it'll be something right up their alley. So that's good. That's good to know. Like I said, yeah, they come across bikers only realize when it takes them off that they're actually women. Oh, neat. Neat. So almost like a big surprise. I thought they were one. Yeah, where it's kind of like that heel situation where you thought they were one thing, you turned to be something else. Because I remember, I'm trying to think of one episode where I remember seeing that happen. So I can't remember one. I can't remember at the moment. But I remember seeing a few cartoons where they kind of did that type of twist. I'm just trying to think which one was it? It's weird. I've seen so many examples of yet when it comes time to really trying to recalling them, I can't recall him at the moment. Nice. me get a let me get our jockey guy here. That's it. I mean, I already knows where they joined the army. Oh yeah, oh yeah. Army ones, those are always great. I can think of all I think is the number of like Donald Duck and old Bugs Bunny cartoons where they have been in the army. Those are always fun. Yeah, that sounds a good one right there. Yeah, those are always fun. Mainly because, like, since, like, almost like common knowledge, army life, that's not going to be for everyone. And I'm pretty sure with them, they'll find out it's probably not suited for them, but hey, it depends on, like, where the story goes. Let's see, what else I want to add for our carriage deal. Let me see, let me see if there's anything else I want to add here. Let me add more to the harness. Again, maybe I should get the little hat a bit here. I wonder if I can get the other wheel down here. Let me see. I might be able to get that fourth wheel in the middle here. Ivan D, Valentine brother, a boxing bento desire. Yep, boxing ones. Yeah, boxing plots are always great. Usually, like any type of plots that involve like some sort of like physical activity or physical endurance, those are always gonna be great, like for physical gags. They're devised by the shark, and even more a punching nuisance than the big marsupial himself. Yeah, you can't go wrong when you're with boxing plots. Let me see the wheel. If I can get. Alright. So, I think what I will go ahead and start doing now, I am going to start adding a little bit of color to this. The color and the straps and harnesses around our little horse guy here. I think I probably maybe like one of these type of horse carriages probably like 1 or 2 times in my life. I forgot where. I don't think it was here in town, even though downtown we do have like a little horse and carriage type of deal like for the tourists. I think the one I did, I think it was like it was on Elsa. I think we were on vacation somewhere. Maybe he's got like maybe he's got like a frosted tips type of deal. Maybe he's got that going on. Yes, yeah, they actually just get their desserts at the end. The script bit was funny enough. The first note that I have, which has been sent. Side note, loving the coloring process. Hey, thanks. Glad you like it so far. It's not. I'm waiting for this one. It's not as perfect as I would have liked, but at least, but considering that this is my first time really kind of drawing like folks in the carriage, I think it turned out all right. Then I tip this out to find nowhere. Bull shark with a baby. Full Metal Shark. Oh, Full Metal Sharks. I'm loving like these. I'm loving these references you got in these titles. Full Metal Sharks. Hands on dirt bikes. You know, fry me. His IQ is PU. I'm liking these notes. That's silly dog. That's cool. Dudes, dealer's choice. Let's see. Clear clouds and Sarsupials. Nice. Guys, even though it's just notes, I'm liking how how it's looking so far. And I think now I'm probably gonna go ahead and do, since I think I've already kind of done enough. Done enough with the inking process right now. I'm gonna go and start kind of coloring it in. So I'm just gonna use colored pencil. Probably just use regular base colors. The outside edge. I think I'll use some red here. I think I'll use it on this Kai's hat here. There, use it on our jockey here, who some of you probably might look a little bit familiar to some of you guys. They color his little nose. I think maybe he's wearing maybe a red tie. I'm gonna use black on it. Okay, good, I do. Probably use that to color in some of the more darker areas. add some red elsewhere too. I'm not sure where. Maybe I'll add on her earrings. A lot of times if I select a new color, I try to like use it anywhere that I can. I think maybe I'll use a little peach here. Well, first I am gonna use it on him here. And maybe this guy, he has a fairly inexpensive like horse and carriage type of deal. And maybe if his deal is that his stuff, while his horse may be old, they may be stocky, his carriage it may not always be that glamorous, but he'll take you to places where you'll want to go. Oh man, I forgot his tail was right here. Oh man, let me see if I can erase that. Let me see if I can bring that back out. Let me see if I can bring it back out. I might be able to salvage that. Black pencil I just had a moment ago. Oh, here it is. Here it is. All right, perfect. Yeah, let me just kind of shade underneath here. I'm trying to decide if I even want to add a little extra shading. I probably won't. Because if I am, in fact, what I'll probably do is actually go and at least erase. Let me erase some of this so it won't be so dark. That's the shade. I'd rather, I'd rather go a little darker than I intend to, and then try to readjust it if need be. Yeah, I do want to try to use a little bit of like blue, cool colors here. Use a lot of maybe purples, some purples and pinks. I do want to have a calm, almost sensual, romantic vibe. Just using a lot of paint. Use a lot of pinks. Use a lot of purples. Yeah, I have a sensual, almost kind of dream-like feel to it. His coattails, he's got a little bit of coattails, he's got a little bit of pink. Let me just kind of go a little darker along the sides. Just going a little bit darker as I just keep coloring these areas in. Yeah, the rich and line with Tina Cat. Tina tries to meditate to get rid of built up stress. Oh yeah, I forgot. I don't think I've seen those that often. Meditative ones are trying to get rid of getting rid of stress, or if they're trying to not be as angry. I haven't seen that one as often, but that's always a good one. Color in the eyes here. I think I'll use some brown, some tan brown for our little guy's mane here. They have these colored edges. Trying to see what other colors I want to add here. Where's that? I had tan brown here I was gonna use. Where is it? Yeah, by the way, the principal of Frank High School is killed. Oh, the principal of Frank High School applies Principal Killspringer. Now for the speeches of the same name. Huh. Kipspringer. I like that. Kipspringer. She's just saying, oh, okay, so it's a type of little antelope. It's a small antelope. Oh, I've never seen how these things look in real life. Real life, huh? Oh, so they got like really like kind of small. So a lot I'm seeing, they got really these smaller snouts. They have these smaller snouts and these tiny antlers. Huh? I didn't realize these animals were a thing. Hey, you just turned out a new. Oh, you just introduced like a whole new species of deer I didn't know existed. Wow. It was cool. I'm just drawing, but I'm gonna find if I look up new stuff while I'm doing it too. Yeah, because I know there's different types of deer out there. I'm just used to the regular ones that I see around here, just your standard deers. I know there's different types. I try to think of what's the different types of deer. Because, of course, you have the white-tailed deer, the mule deer, of course, you have the elks. I'm trying to think of the ones that we got here. Trying to think of what we got over here in Georgia where we are. I want to say the ones that we have around here, like our white-tailed ones. Only thing about it is I haven't really seen haven't seen any of them up close to really tell. In fact, let me look them up real quick. Okay, I just went and looked it up. So, primary type of deer, if you know, just the white-tailed deer. Okay, so it is white-tailed deer. Okay, so I was right. White deer. Apparently do have some mule deer here too. Yeah, I thought so. I just wasn't 100% sure. I just wanted to kind of look that up real quick. I went to up my college on occasion. Yeah, because I know... Yeah, I'm not surprised. Yeah, because I know for deer here, we tendly... Oh yeah, if you're close to woods, you're definitely gonna see deer pretty often. Especially probably, especially at least where I am, I tend to see them a lot more during the fall and winter time. Because usually, like, once the leaves are falling, they're a lot easier to spot. And they start coming out a lot, and that's when they start coming out. Although now it's getting to a point to where because we've had a lot of like new housing and new buildings pop up where I am, where we're starting to see them pretty much just almost a lot more common year round. Because it used to be where we only tend to saw them more regularly like, during the like say like the spring, like say like late fall and all throughout winter. But now it's getting to a point where I'm even seeing them like more often in the spring and even in the summer too. Oh wow! You sent some shots. Oh wow! I like that fourth one. You got one up close. Oh, that's cool. You got one up close. Like, that's a great shot. And you know what's funny? It's always usually like the does that are usually they usually end up seeing. I think very rarely I've seen the bucks. The bucks they tend to stay like really far in the back. Cause usually they tend to stay. They kind of keep their distance. But that shot, that close-up shot off for him, that's a really cool shot that you end up getting there. You know, I'm gonna go over another shade. This one's not. This will end up being turning a little too gray to my liking. Yeah, but even now where I am, it's like now we're starting to see them even in the springtime, even in the summer, surprisingly too, and in the middle of the day, which is even more odd because usually like I'll see them probably in the I'll probably see them probably like usually like near at night or like early in the morning. But this I remember one time I saw it was like in the middle of the day. And it was just walking down the street. Funny thing about the fourth picture, I was walking inside and close to okay, so they just walked up. Oh my god. That is so cool. Because occasionally I've taken pictures of like the deer that are in my backyard too. Because the house where I am, it's pretty. Where I am, it's pretty close to the woods. So we get them across in front of the driveway, in front. She's not the driveway in the backyard all the time. But usually the ones I've gotten, they're still kind of a good distance away. One I wish I did get is that back in my old place, because back in the place I moved out of last year. I remember I had one time a deer. It was actually like it came right up against the window in front of my house, and it scared me at first too because I was passing by the window. I saw something in front of them. Like, wait, what was that? Because I thought it was a person at first, but then when I looked up to the window, I saw it was an actual deer. I saw 8 deer my last turn. See, it's been a long time since I've seen a whole bunch of deer together. Deer guys, like that's even rare to me to see a whole pack of them together. I think the last time I'm so used to at most see maybe 3. Usually it's 2. At most, if I'll see a pack, it's maybe 4. It's rare when I've seen more than that though. I remember one time years ago, I think probably about a block down the street from where I live. I was walking down the street. There's this one house it's very far away from the edge of the street. They have a huge front yard, a huge backyard. But I remember when I passed by it, there was like a whole flock of there was a whole bunch of deer. It was like 30 of them too. It was a mixture of both the does and the bucks, and they're gonna fall back. They were just kind of like walking together. A deer actually ran in front of my dad's car. Don't worry, he didn't get hurt. And ran once it ran into it. Oh, that's good. That's good. Yeah, because where I am too, we have those deer crossing signs because they will cross in front of us because it's pretty common where they'll kind of cross the street. Because I think I'm aware. I think what happens, I think the bright lights in the car, it does disorient them. That's why a lot of it tend to freeze up a lot of times. If you're driving in front of that night. Because there was one time I think actually I was driving home one night. And actually I had 2 deer actually kind of pass in front of me while I was driving. I had one deer, it just kind of zipped by me while I was a good distance away. But then for something, I don't know what it was. I had a hunch that told me maybe I should slow down. And sure enough, another deer passed by and was much closer. So I was glad that I did that. Yeah, because they'll just fly across. Because those sides, they will like fly across the Speaking of that, I'm planning on drawing a picture of $2 finding a doll, similar to Popeye, and my Ant Spirit, stuff like that. Oh, that'd be a good idea there, because you don't really see too many stuff, with deer. Weirdly enough, I just thought about that. Don't know, this is probably a weird reference. I saw that one on Robot Chicken skit called Kid Venison, where basically this guy gets hit by like a radioactive deer, and becomes like a deer superhero, where basically he kind of use like his antlers to kind of fight people off. I know it's kind of weird thing to bring up, but that's something that just kind of came to mind. Let me just kind of get around the collar here. Excuse me. Yeah, Kid Vest, and that's what they end up calling it. And it was funny, I think even a call because unfortunately, because it's Robot Chicken, it ended up getting dark. I think he was getting hit by a passing car. And it was even worse that they had to do a callback to that particular episode. I think later on they did an episode, I guess, where Arnold Schwarzenegger was like a baby or something. And I think the Sean O'Connor character, when she's driving home, he ends up running into that Kid Venison character again. It's pretty dark, but it's a pretty funny like callback to that previous skit in that same episode. Oh, thanks. Thanks, I didn't mean to sneeze on camera like that. Anyway, Frank is usually very still and giggle prone, even though it can go crazy if he sheeps even one sheep. Yeah, I can imagine. Yeah, I remember Robot Chicken. I remember that was kind of one of the shows they used to always like. That was like one of the shows I go to when I watched Adult Swim. Cause I remember for a brief period while like the schedule there, I remember the schedule wouldn't change all that much. Cause I remember, usually I think it'll be. I remember for a while sometimes it'll be Futurama first, then Family Guy, then maybe American Dad, then probably Robot Chicken, then probably Aqua Teen Hunger Force, then for a while I think maybe Super Jail. And then other times the other shows. I remember for a while with Adult Swim, it was like, it seemed like the later the shows got, like the more weirder they would get too. Like Tim and Eric, like 12 Ounce Mouse. And those shows I really didn't watch that often because, of course, at that point they started getting really kind of trippy and kind of psychedelic. I'll call it from my friends. My friend dressed up as sheep, but the ram sheep head is like a sheep, and they feel like, oh my god! And they even have children. And all the while, Frank's just processing what happened. Not like idea, like a big twist on the wolf and sheep clothing idea, but it actually ends up. But that's like a little twist. But it's like a twist ending though. Yeah, you might have to do that one. I kind of like that twist, that twist ending for that one. I'll just use right for the back here. No, let me shade the inside here. I'll use blue. Uh-oh, sorry about that. I don't know why I keep hitting the camera like this. I'm trying to think what color I want to add for him here. I think I was giving him like a light blue. Cause initially when I started with this, I was kind of going. I forgot to color in his color in his neck. I forgot to do that. Looney Tunes kid got somebody after Wolf Stops ran halfway to view. He's a wolf. And the lyric twice says, so is the ram. I like that. That's good. Yeah, you're definitely gonna have to do that one. I like that. Nah, I was gonna do a light blue. I'll probably do like a periwinkle or like a purple. That'll go with his red tie a little bit better. I was trying to go for like a calm color palette, kind of like Rebecca Sugar stuff for Steven Universe, where they use a lot of like pinks, blues, and purples. I want to go for that calm type of vibe too. I might use a darker shade of red for his tie though. Let me see if I got one. I thought I had. Trying to see if anything else I want to add. Yeah, I'll use a little bit of that golden yellow here. Let me start counting this in. Mine reel's already 2 hours already. Wait, actually, why am I surprised? I already knew I went over an hour and a half. Yeah, I'll use paper on the side of the carriage. Hold on, let me check on something real quick. I'll be right back. Hang on. Stand by, guys. I'll be right back. Alright, I'm back, guys. Yeah, yeah, I had something to come in the mail not too long ago. That was when I decided to go get it. I was thinking of this idea where two characters are roasting each other and treat it like an actual contest. Oh, cool, like a little like a little insult war where this maybe top each other, who can tell a better insult, who can roast each other. That's a that sounds a pretty good idea too. I'm just trying to I don't know, for some reason I could figure like maybe Shark Tube's game probably getting something like that, where probably there's kind of trading insults are kind of going back and forth with each other. Or maybe someone else entirely. But that's actually a pretty... Yeah, but I like that idea too. Yeah, because even though you might have something different in mind, I feel like something like that, a plot idea with Shark Tooth for this game, that might be something that will probably work great with them. Yeah, but whatever you decide to do, yeah, I look forward to actually seeing it. Okay, I think we're looking pretty good here, so... It gets as many side... Oh, I was wondering if... Yeah, I was wondering if everybody would catch, if that was actually, Manny. Yeah, you know what? It actually is kind of one of his side hustles. He's got many jobs, even though comedian is actually his main job. He's got about various side hustles. One thing I thought about doing, as I've been kind of drawing this, I figured maybe a brief story is that these two actually know each other. He knows that he wants, she loves and wants to do like a horse and carriage ride. So he ends up calling, Manny as a favor. Hey, do you think you can actually help do like this horse ride thing? But of course, Manny, since he's kind of tends to be very guy, tends to joke around and tends to joke around. He tends to actually not always do things as well as should. He get chaotic really fast, or it could be a situation where he's actually, really competent, where he's actually somewhat competent at doing his job. One thing about him, though, he'll make sure that he'll make it memorable. He might end up doing a very normal ride, or he'll probably go, or he'll quote unquote accidentally make the horse go haywire. In doing so, kind of making their trip a lot more memorable because, sure, you'll remember. Anybody can have just a simple horse ride, but not everybody will have a horse drag race. Say they were going to they never come across another couple in horse carriage and doing a drag race down the park. It's dangerous, it's reckless, but you'll remember it, and man, it will definitely make sure a couple have a memorable night. Did you wet your shell chef? It's called Slime Trailing Wingnut. I like that. I'm trying to think, what else do I want to add here? Oh yeah, let me kind of color in his hooves. At least the bottom part of his hooves. Yeah, that is probably what. That's something I can probably see Shem probably say in that situation. Once the whole carriage race is over. Yeah, I think we're almost done here, at least for today. I think afterwards I am gonna kind of show some of the other stuff. I've been kind of that we're doing on and off this week. Because I haven't been doing too much, I've also been working on 2 commissions. Well, I finished up one, kind of my friend thinks I was trying to make like he wet himself, so that came to be. I like that idea. I can see it'll be a bit of annoyance too, because I bet Chef will have to probably constantly correcting him since he's a snail. Of course, him being a snail, of course, it happens all the time. So I can see him constantly getting annoyed, having to keep correcting people all the time. Not snail, slug. I meant to say. Sorry, slug. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna try to make it to the stream tomorrow. But yeah, I figured it'd be a nice little scenario where hey, a guy wants to kind of treat his later for a memorable night out, and man's gonna make sure they have a memorable night out. Yeah, because when I do post this on, I am adding a little like a short story to it as well, at least on DeviantArt. Because even if I'm doing them like a lot of times, if I'm doing we slip on his own slime and tries to cover it up. Have embarrassed it. Oh, it kind of. Oh, you guys are injuring himself, and he has to kind of make up a story. And kind of make like a story that show that tells like what happened. Okay, I believe that's it for this thing right here. I think later in the day, I think what I will probably do is like later in the day, I'll probably come back later in the afternoon. I might add a little more to it, but for right now, I don't really see anything else I can really add here. Yeah, it's like no, this old boo was a suspect in my trappings. So I believe that's like an ad I think I'll do for this drawing here. Oh, in fact, let me bring this down so you guys can see a little bit better. That's the problem. I keep forgetting when stuff isn't always in focus. So guys, I really appreciate you all that actually kind of dropping. Hey, Brenda, I appreciate you actually dropping for today's stream. I know it went a little longer than usual. And I'll show you guys some of the other stuff I've been kind of working on. I know some of you probably saw the, I don't think I've posted them yet, but this is actually another I'm currently working on. I did this one on my live stream on TikTok. I'm doing this drawing of Dr. Hibbert from The Simpsons. I'm still working on this one. This was not quite done just yet, but that is another one I'm planning on finishing up this weekend. And then of course, I know you guys probably saw this earlier last night when I did my post update. I did this one of Tiger from American Tail. It was actually my second time, ever drawing him. I actually like this one a little bit more than the first time I drew him, even though I don't think it's perfect. Because I think Tiger, he was surprisingly pretty hard to draw, especially if you're going by the by how he appears in the first movie, where he's a lot fluffier than he does. Like I think in the later sequel, they kind of simplify his design a lot more, and he's a little more angular. Now, of course, you've already here last year. Of course, I finished the drawing I did like Sunny Chirac here. And then on top of that, I'd also had two commissions that I was working. Well, I have one commission that I finished, but I actually did one of Mayor Kickback from this obscure cartoon called Capertown Cops. I think you can still find the episodes on YouTube. I did one of him. And their private commits I actually just started on not too long ago, so I'm working on that. So that's been kind of stuff I've been actually been kind of working on as of lately. So yeah, I appreciate all you guys that actually be dropped in for today's stream. I know it'd be a little longer than usual, but I appreciate you guys that actually drop in. And oh, and also, side note, I went and got myself a new desk lamp. So this actually has been working out a lot better than the old one I've been using. One, it's because even though it's smaller, it's brighter than the other one I had before. Which I like that it has that. And so, guys, I hope I was to talk to you again soon. Hey, Brendan, I do plan on actually dropping in for your stream tomorrow. And guys, I hope to see you all again next time. Thank you.